Matthew 26:27. And he took the cup and gave thanks and gave it to them, saying, Drink ye all of it, for this is my blood of the New Testament, which is shed for many for the remission of sins. No, this is this is the communion supper. This is basically the communion, drinking of the cups. And he said, this is a communion of my blood, which is shed for you, and the bread was his body, symbolic of his body, the communion of his body. But listen to this. The Watchtower Society has taught its followers not to obey these clear instructions from Jesus Christ. When Jehovah's Witnesses hold their annual communion celebration, the loaf and the cup are passed from hand to hand with hardly any partaking. And that's statistics reported on the January 1st, 1986 Watchtower magazine, revealing that of 7,792,109 in attendance at the celebration in 1985, only 9,051 partook. So most of the 49,716 worldwide congregations of Jehovah's Witnesses had no partakers at all in their midst. And failing to drink of it, all of you, as Jesus commanded, the witnesses are responding instead to instructions from their leaders, which have taught them that new believers since the year 1935 cannot share in the new covenant mediated by Jesus Christ, which is Hebrews 12:24. Those of the other sheep class are not in the new covenant and do not partake. The Watchtower, 2:1586. I mentioned this earlier, that basically the Jehovah's Witnesses believe that in 1935 God quit taking people to heaven. That there was no longer people could go to heaven. They believe in this kind of like the people from 1935 and before could go to heaven. They called them the 144,000, which were the only ones that could actually go to heaven, and they were saved. People were saved. The 144,000 were saved. And by 1935, the last of them were saved. So now all the believers after that cannot go to heaven, but are part of the great crowd that will stay. That God will set up a paradise on earth and let them live on earth in paradise, while the others go to heaven. So they don't partake of the supper because they don't think they're part of the covenant to start with. They don't need salvation. They don't need to try to get saved or anything really, because they're not going to heaven no way. They can't go. Even though there's no mention, again, there's nothing in the Bible that mentions that the 1935 stopped, that you stop getting saved, that people can stop getting saved and going to heaven in 1935. Jesus said himself that if any man come to me, I will in no wise cast out. If any man come to me, my Father I will in no wise cast out. I didn't quote it exactly, but he basically says, if you want to come to me, and you come to me the right way, I won't cast you out. I'll save you. And I've already mentioned, I've talked about this earlier, that he'll save anybody that repents and gets saved. He'll save them and take them to heaven with him. He says, I go to prepare a place for you. I will come again and receive you. He says, we have a heavenly hope. We have a heavenly hope. All of it. Everybody's saved got a heavenly hope. He doesn't say only the people that in 1935 have a heavenly hope. There's no mention of that year in the Bible talking about it. It don't make sense. But speaking of the life-saving covenant represented in the communion loaf and cup, Jesus said, unless ye eat the flesh of the Son of Man and drink his blood, ye have no life in you. That's John 6:53. Then Jesus said unto them, Verily, verily, I say unto you, except ye eat the flesh of the Son of Man and drink his blood, ye have no life in you. And basically, this is the truth. If witnesses exclude themselves from the new covenant, they exclude themselves from eternal life. They're not going to live eternally on earth. They're going to die and go to hell, believing all that foolishness. And there's a good one. Why don't you just go ahead, and some of you Jehovah's Witnesses and people that don't understand, but ask the Jehovah's Witness this, and some of you Jehovah's Witnesses, why don't you look this up? Show me in the Bible anywhere where Jesus said in the year 1935 that there would be an expiration date for his instructions regarding communion, and find out when that's some reason in the year 1935. Show me the reason why nobody can get saved anymore. Show me anywhere in the Bible where he said in 1935 nobody else can get saved and go to heaven. You have to live on earth now. He said, as often if you do it, often if you drink it, often if you eat it, he said, let's do it in remembrance of me. As often if you do it. He said, as many times as you do this, do it in remembrance of me. Here's another verse about here. John 6:37 says, "All that the Father giveth me shall come to me, and him that cometh to me I will in no wise cast out." Whoever will come to him, Jesus said himself that he that believeth on me hath an everlasting life. What do you think they're doing? What do you think they got the eternal life? I know what you think. You think the eternal life is just living on earth, but he says we have a heavenly hope. Hebrews 12. This is, and Hebrews 12:24 says, "And to Jesus, the mediator of the new covenant, and to the blood of the sprinkling, that speaketh better things than that of Abel." Hebrews 12:22 says, "But ye are come unto Mount Sion, and unto the city of the living God, the heavenly Jerusalem, to an innumerable company of angels, to the general assembly, the church of the firstborn, which are written in heaven, and to God, the judge of all, and to the spirits of just men made perfect." The heavenly Jerusalem. We're going to go to it. We're going to see the heavenly Jerusalem, New Jerusalem. Now let's go to Luke. Luke 16. Now this is one of the big ones right here. I believe I already mentioned this, but I'll go ahead and do it again. In fact, I'll do this in the next video.